My ex-girlfriend gave me a new life. When I was my late teens, I was doing drugs. Nothing too hardcore, but enough to make me weak and lazy. I was also very skinny, but didn't think too much of that. The first girlfriend that I had was very athletic. She was into wrestling and had background in gymnastics as well. Short red hair, blue eyes, always looked like she was suppressing a laugh. One day I went to pick her up during her wrestling practice. I had seen her in her regular clothes, and she had seemed like she had a good figure, but when I saw her in her wrestling spandex singlet, I noticed that she was muscular. Not like those female bodybuilders, but very natural athletic muscle. She was practicing with a kid who must have been 16, but looked very strong. If was up against that guy in a dark alley, I would not be sure if I could take him on, so I would stay the heck away. My girlfriend was really woman handling him. I really wanted him to win for my own self-assurance, but she won't let it happen. At some point I gave up because he gassed out, and then she was really ragdolling him. It was intimidating what she did to that guy. He didn't care, but it bothered me that she was this strong. When it was over, he left, and she was like kneeling to catch her breath. I wanted to convince myself that I'm physically superior than her, so I stepped on the mat and asked her to wrestle. She laughed and said no. I insisted and then playfully pinned her down. She said, "Okay, let me catch my breath." Then she stabilized her breathing, allowing to come down. Then she goes, "Are you ready?" I was like, "Yeah." I'm really glad that no one was there to see what she did to me. I wanted to know who was stronger, but it never got to a point where it would become a test of strength. She never allowed it to go there. She pushed me, and I pushed her back to convince myself that I am stronger, and she pulled me in while I was pushing. Then she flipped me over her hips, and it was a decisive slam. If I pushed, she would pull, and if I pulled, she would push. And it was all about angles and leverage, and I never got to assure myself that I was stronger because with her it did not matter. She jokingly dismantled me and then said, "Had enough?" I was like, okay. I really did not have anything left to prove. She was used to practicing with boys, and in their circle no one cares. But coming from a non-athletic background, it was not sitting well with me. That day she noticed that I was zoned out and distant, and then it hit her that the ragdolling she had given me was not sitting well. She felt sorry, but did not say anything. I came back to my room, broke down, and cried. It was not just losing, but feeling unworthy. I was also upset at my parents for doing what they did and giving me this messed up life. I was extremely attracted to this girl, and I felt like she can do better. But after that, I stopped asking her out. Instead, I decided to clean up my mess. She came up to me and asked, "Are we not going out anymore? You do not call me?" Did I do anything wrong? I told her that you are too good for me. You are beautiful, you are more educated, you are so talented that it is not a pleasant experience for me to be with you. She understood what I meant, and after that we became nodding acquaintances. But I still had a crush on her, and I stopped drugs and started to clean up my life. I was embarrassed to go to the gym where she worked out, so I would go to another faraway gym where no one knew me. I even printed her picture in one of her wrestling matches and put it in my room. I would wake up in the morning, look at that picture for a good 5 to 10 minutes, and think about what she did to me on the mat. Then, I would go to the gym and lift weights. 2 years later, she went out of my life, but her picture remained. It would always be on my wall, and I would look at her and think about how helpless she made me feel. Then I would hit the gym. By the time I was 25, I could walk into any gym and be one of the strongest dudes. I also did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and became a purple belt. I have done very well for myself in other areas too, but her picture never left my wall. I now look at that picture differently. I look at that her with such deep-rooted respect and the most sincere gratitude. That one human being caused such a change in me and gave me a life that even my parents did not give me. In the age of social media, people can find each other. I searched for her name and found her profile. I am no longer looking for any romantic connection, as I am sure we have both grown out of each other. But I wonder if it would be a good idea to meet her and explain to her that everything I have and will ever have is due to her. I'm not sure if a woman would appreciate someone coming into her life from many lifetimes ago to thank her and ask for nothing back in return? For someone who has never been given anything by the world, saying thanks is a powerful feeling. But I am not sure if sharing all that I write here would be a wise thing to do. These are personal thoughts. Many days have gone by and a lot of water has gone under the bridge. Her picture in her red wrestling singlet remains on my wall. I finally met my ex-girlfriend, who gave me a new life. Update: a lot has happened in my life since I made my earlier post. Encouraged by the wonderful people on this forum, I went to meet my ex-girlfriend today to tell her how much she changed my life. What she told me in return has shocked me too. Years ago, this woman had practically dismantled me on the wrestling mat, and I had to go home and cry. I needed a closure. So the very next day of writing my initial post, I sent her a Facebook message telling her that I would love to meet up, and this is nothing romantic. I owe her a small gift. She got back saying, "OMG, it has been years, and she would love to catch up, but it would have to be Sunday morning." First, I thought I should take flowers, but that has romantic connotations, and I did not want to give her that impression. So I got her a female action figure. It was Angel Dust from Deadpool, played by Gina Carano. I also made a card that read, "Some superheroes do not know they are superheroes until their story is told to them by the people they have influenced. Without you, I would be nothing." When I met her, her red hair had grown, and she obviously looks more mature, more womanly. We hugged and then ordered our coffee. I gave her the action figure and the card, and I told her that I have brought you here to tell you your superhero story and how you saved a man from 3 things. When boys are in their teens, they are trying to find the man inside them. They imagine what they would be 10 years ahead and try to act that way before their time. I was doing drugs and playing video games, and I could not see myself in the future. But you were the prettiest girl, and wherever that man inside me was, he would only come out when I saw you. That day, when we wrestled, you wrecked me in a way that I was convinced that that man inside me does not exist. She was like, "Really? It affected you that much?" I said yes. I gave it my 200, but you had so much momentum behind you that would not allow me to keep my balance and my footing. As time went by and we wrestled, I started to break down inside. You got me in that chicken wing hold, and you were talking to me while keeping me there, and I was so helpless at the hands of the woman I was so attracted to. I started to cry inside while you had me in that position, but I never showed you. It was teenage hormones. She said, "I understand now." There was a boy who committed suicide because he lost to a girl in front of the whole school. I told her, "At this age it sounds really silly to me, I know, but back then it felt very different." When I went home I cried and I threw away all my superhero shirts. I had such a hormonal meltdown that I did not play video games after that. She said that after beating you, I realized how badly you were taking it, and I did not know how to address that since I was the cause of it. She asked, "Did you hate me?" I said no. I hated myself. I never blamed you or ever hated you. She said, "Okay, go on." I told her that I have never done drugs and never played video games after that. I committed myself to strength and martial arts. She goes, "Dude, I can see that." I told her about the picture. I told her that I kept a picture of her in my room in which she was wearing the same red spandex singlet in which she beat me. Every morning I would wake up, look at it, and remind myself how helpless I had been on the mat, and then hit the gym. I still have that picture, but it has the same value to me as a superhero poster would have to a child. I told her that if you had not crushed me on the mat that day, then there were only 3 places I would be today: jail, mental asylum, or grave. You came in my life as a superhero and you pulled me from each one of those. Without drugs, I also did well and finished my degree, got a job, started a career, and none of that would have happened without you. From here on, every single moment I will experience outside of jail or asylum or early death will be because of you. No one comes into someone else's life and gives them all of this in such a short time. On a spiritual level, I honestly believe that you were an angel sent by the Almighty, and I will always thank my Lord for you. She was so moved by this that she cried tears. After that, she told me certain things. She said that before she met me, she was sexually assaulted. This guy was stronger than her, and it really affected her. After that assault happened, Many athletic boys would ask her out, but she would size them up and not feel safe. They would bring anxiety, so she did not date for a long time. Then she met me, and I was not physically intimidating to her. She felt very safe, and then she started to feel a romantic connection. She told me I was funny and would make her laugh. She felt at home with me, and that is why she would come to my dorm room and play Nintendo. She felt very bad that I broke up with her, but as time went by, she understood. She said she did not know that she had such a positive impact on my life, and she is speechless as it would take her a long time to process all this. Then she told me something. She said, "You seem different now. I'm not sure if you joke as often or try to make others laugh as often, but when guys get all big and strong, then they stop trying to impress women with those emotional things." She said that she's glad to see that I have changed physically and mentally, but she really hopes that I still have those qualities somewhere, because a lot of women, especially those who have suffered sexual assault, will need that kind of safety from a man. It was so self-reflective for me to hear that. It really made me think if I still have those traits or not, or did I lose the class clown on the way somewhere? The younger version felt inferior, so tried to impress girls by making them laugh all the time. The older me, I really do not know. She said that she is sad that I threw away all my superhero shirts, so she will get me one. It was a great meeting, and I think both of us left with a lot of self-reflecting to do. So yes, we will be seeing each other again, but I'm not sure in what capacity.